Hello, and thank you so very much for this wonderful, wonderful honor. I'm especially appreciative of the leaders of this organization, Pi Gamma Mu, Dr. Larry Heck, Dr. Susan Kinsella, Dr. Suzanne Rupp, Dr. Clara Small, and Dr. Gordon Mercer. Leadership is so important for any organization, and we've never been at a more critical time for leadership, because the 21st century has shown us that it is just so full of shocks and stresses, some we expect and some we can't expect and we can't entirely plan for. Whether they're climate change related, droughts or floods or wildfires, hurricanes of increasing intensity and duration, whether they're pandemics, who could have imagined last year, or whether it's the growing attention, and really appropriately so, to the increasing racial inequity and social and economic disparities that we're seeing in our country and all over the world. And so when you think about these challenges, you can really understand why many of us believe that the social sciences have never been more important. Whether it's economics in helping to frame new economic models, or political science in shaping new policy, or sociology in understanding systems and systems change, or psychology and the social service delivery kinds of disciplines that really do help us to understand and treat and make more effective human behavior. My training as a psychologist, first as an undergraduate and then as a social psychologist in my PhD, has really given me, in ways unimaginable at the time, all of the critical steps and maybe many of the critical achievements of my career. First, as an academic researcher and as a teacher, something that I loved doing for 20 years at Yale. Wonderful students and influencing people's lives in that way. And teaching psychology was a great privilege and a great joy, and doing research in the field as well. Then becoming an academic administrator and an academic leader, and really facing so many challenges of leadership. And my training again as a social psychologist taught me how to evaluate situations, understand context, and influence human behavior in a way that led to important decisions, and most importantly, I think, to impactful outcomes. And then, of course, leading the Rockefeller Foundation, where our mission was the betterment of mankind and to really help solve as many of the world's most significant, most pressing problems as we could. And there, being a trained social scientist really made an enormous difference, because problems occur in systems. They don't land on the ground in convenient packages labeled your discipline. And having the systems approach and really understanding the intersection of all those disciplines, our social science disciplines with the humanistic tradition, and certainly STEM and scientific disciplines, was very, very important in really understanding and solving some critical global problems in health, in food insecurity, in climate change, in natural resources, and restoration of all kinds. I must say that the critical thing that I learned was that life provides all of these interesting opportunities, and you don't know what's next. Little did I know at Rockefeller that one of the critical pieces of work that we would do was on resilience. And again, my training as a psychologist made a huge difference, because the engineering definition, which had really been the most important definition that was influencing and guiding work, imagined that return to normal was what resilience was really about. The psychological definition, in fact, views return to normal as not what the desirable outcome is, but growth and transformation as a result of a shock or stressor. And so our work at Rockefeller really focused on preparing for any challenge, being able to rebound more quickly and effectively as a result of that challenge and in response to that challenge, but importantly, how to produce growth and transformation when a challenge occurred. And this had impact on cities all over the world, on national governments, on institutions that we influenced, and indeed on our own behavior. And one of the things we contributed that again came from my social science background and training was the view that resilience was a skill, that it could be learned and trained and practiced. And so we taught leaders how to be more resilient, and we taught them how to lead more resilient institutions. And again, I think that came from my background as a social scientist. So my advice to you is to stay open, seek opportunities, seek challenges, because you don't know where the road will turn next. Don't try to plan too much what the next step is. The excitement at making choices and having a little opportunity where twists and turns aren't so clear in terms of what you're planning now is one of the most exciting things that happened to me. So again, thank you so much for this honor. I really am very privileged to be the recipient of this award.